Alright, it says we're all good to go. Let me just share some of this and give me a moment to get everything going while we wait for people to hop in here, and then we'll be all good to go. Gotta make sure the stream's well, gotta make sure this is uploaded to Patreon, and then we'll be all good to go. Let me just get this here. All right, let me get that. What's up? What is up, guys? Yeah, give me a just give me, like I said, I probably said it right when it went live. Just give me a moment to make sure everything is up, and then we will. I'll bring up the thing on the screen. I'm just making sure everything is up on Patreon because people were asking me, when are you going live? Are you going live? I thought you said you were going live, so I'm live. mainly just to say I'm here. Yeah, for really being on the bandwagon that NASCAR is fixing for Chase, I don't necessarily think it went that way for the Coda race. It just kind of how it ended up, where he ended up winning. But it's another one of those situations to where he wins a race, and you're like, well, should Chase have won that race? It's like, man, did everything really work out in Chase's way? What's going on there? Okay, let's see, that's updated, that's updated, that's updated. Okay, let me upload this to Patreon, and then we'll get it up on the screen. If you guys want to drop some questions or anything in the chat, I will answer that in about 2 seconds here. Let me upload this. I'm actually really glad we didn't do qualifying, so I can kind of get this done earlier than I wanted to. We're not having to sit there and wait. It was still ridiculous that we had to wait like close to 18 minutes for the starting grid to be out there. Like, why is this taking so long? Let's see, that's there. All right, and everything is uploaded to Patreon right now. It should be live. It takes like a few seconds to go live, but it is there on Patreon. You get that by supporting me on. Let me just make sure that's there. Let me tell my Patreon or my Discord folks that it is there, and then let me just make sure it opens. Sorry, I'm taking so long. Let's see. We got any questions here? My favorite 10K play is John Nemechek. I don't see a reason to get off of John Nemechek, especially if people are going to be scared to play him just because he hit the wall and everything. Yeah, I'm not really concerned with that at all. That doesn't bother me at all. Him getting into the wall. Let's see. That's there. That's good. That's good. Oh, dang it. I didn't highlight the word chalk on the heat map, but that's fine. At least I still have chalk written next to it. Oops. Sorry about that. Up. All right. Let me bring the sheet on the screen here. Let me copy this so I can mess around with it on my other screen. There's that. There's that. Let me close out of that. Close out of that. Close out of that. All right. It took us a while to get here, but here we go. Let me get this on the screen. And we'll fill these in as we kind of go along and kind of talk about people here. Really, my main notes is kind of just answering the 10K question that I had. I'm not worried about John Nemechek at all, especially if that's actually scaring people. I wrote some more notes on the PDF on Patreon, but the main deal is just I'm not worried about John Nemechek. I mean, this is the fastest car, the fastest team. The only thing I would worry about something happening on literally the first restart, because him and Creed are both on the outside in that PJ1. I posted on Twitter earlier that this PJ1 is reminding me of Texas, and that it's just one groove. Like, the outside lane is non-existent. It's one groove or it's death, basically. You hop up to that outside lane and you can't really do anything. The other note, I don't think it's going to turn to a wreck fest, but with how many drivers are spinning out in practice, the temperatures are going to be really cool. Even with the Cup Series, if they get their practice, I actually just X'd out of the stream, so I don't know if they're practicing or not later. But even if the Cup Series goes out there and practice, this is a night race, you know? Any heat or any temperature buildup in that PJ1 from the Cup cars, if they go out there, that's going to be gone by the time of the race, or by the time the race starts. This is going to be a one-groove racetrack. And I also said on Twitter earlier that I think the possibility of one guy leading the whole race, or leading a majority of it in all 3 series this week, is really huge with how this racetrack is looking. So that's that is funny though. The second comment was like rigged for Chase. I don't know, man. Can't tell you. Let's see. Thoughts on Austin Hill or Timmy Hill Eagles? I have John Hunter Nemechek to win. It's Nemechek and Creed for me as my top 2 here. I don't think I haven't ran the optimizer. Let me get this optimizer working in the background, because that will answer quite a few questions. I'm assuming, just off the top of my head, I'm assuming that it's going to want to use Chandler Smith and Eckus together. It's probably going to want to use Brett Holmes or Ty Majeski or Tanner Gray. Let's run this puppy and see what it does. I also need to put my projections in there before it runs. That'd be good. Right now, based on my projections, I would not play Creed and John Hunter Nemechek in a lineup, because I don't like the guys you're going to be with in the, in that 6K, 7K range, especially when you're paying up, 10K for 2 guys here. I think it's going to be one of those guys. Even throw Rhodes in there. So Gillan, he has the lead. I just kind of talked about how it's a one-groove racetrack. There's a chance that Gillan can just stay out and lead the first stage. Excuse me. Creed and Austin Hill, they're going to be fast there. John Nemechek, like I said, he's the fastest car. I'd even throw Ben Rhodes and Zane Smith in there. I'm not huge on Zane Smith, but everybody in this top 6 has the car to lead. I don't see this as a race where they're going to be flip-flopping the lead. I think it's going to be like 1 to 2 lap leaders, like max. And so I would probably go 1 dom. Now, if you're going 1 dominator, you got to pick the right guy. So if I go all in on John Hunter Nemechek and then Ben Rhodes leads the entire race, or Todd Gillan leads the whole race, I'm already, I'm already lighting money on fire before it even started, just because I didn't land on the right guy. So if you're playing a 1 dominator lineup, you need to make sure you hit that guy who leads laps. Probably the safe way, I guess, to answering your question with Creed and Nemechek, maybe that is the safe way to go. I don't see it going that way. The optimizer right now is liking John Hunter Nemechek the most. If it's not using John Hunter Nemechek, it's using Sheldon Creed. But those are the 2 guys in the 10K range that it's liking. I don't think both the guys work from what I'm looking at right now. Let me get that in there. Also, it is birthday week for me. I'm very happy about that. Let me update that. Let me take this guy out. Take this guy out. Let's see what the optimizer wants to do right here. All right, I'm kind of shrinking the player pool. We'll give that a few more minutes to build some lines, and we'll talk about who it's liking there. All right, we're all good. Let's see what other questions we got. Yeah, poster boy Chase Given. I'm telling you, man, it's not that they went out of their way to fix the race, but man, oh man, Oh man, it's sketchy. Who do I like in the back? Here, let's go through the field and let's talk about, let's really start ranking some drivers here. So, going back here, Trace Hutchins does not have a sponsor. It's a black 14 car. I doubt that they run competitive times. Like if anything, maybe get into 32nd, 33rd at max. I don't see much from Trey Hutchinson's at all. Jennifer Jo Cobb, not at all. I got Cram close to 5x. I got Boyd over 5x. AO is no. Keith McGee, gosh almighty, dude. I love our military forces. I'm a really patriotic guy. A lot of people think I'm pretty far left, and that isn't really the case. But like Keith McGee, okay, so they lose their sponsor, it pulls out last minute. He's an Army veteran. Barstool sees him and they're like, oh, we need to support the military, and they sponsor him. And what does Keith McGee does? He wrecks, because that's what he does. It's like Jesse Owuji all over again. Oh my gosh, dude, that's all these guys do. So in here, if you're new to kind of how I rank them, F's are straight up, I'm not using them on my player pool. C's, not necessarily value, but I think maybe either pivots or plays that I think you need to consider at least. B, if you're a B, you're hitting 5x. And normally there's people who hit 5x, and then A are just the guys that I really love. So A's and B's are the main guys I would focus on here. I love Brett Holmes. We're doing that all over again. So he'll probably run 17th and get involved in another wreck like he did at Las Vegas, because he was running all right there. I wanna like these two guys, Gray and Purdy. I'm just really scared. This seems like a race that Fogelman's gonna wreck in. That's just how it goes. Maybe if you need to price it there. Jack Wood is a freaking loser. I don't have Timmy Hill hitting value. Drew Dollar, I don't have him hitting value. And I could just be wrong right off the bat, but that's just kind of how we're looking at here. I need to move this screen up a little. That's a big no. That's a big no. Haley's going to be a no. Let's see here. Right, yeah. Hocevar is either going to win someone a lot of money or really kill a line. I personally, I'm not playing Hocevar. I understand if you want to play him. I just don't think that works out, man. I really don't. Anfinger, at his price, it's going to be a no. Tyler Ankrum, his price is going to be a no. And obviously, A, C, B. We even throw Todd in there, because I'm giving Todd finishing 1, 2. I'm giving him a 4th finish at max with 11 laps led and 8 fast laps, which I don't think that's out of the him getting like 8 laps led or 11 laps led, somewhere around there. I don't think that's crazy. It's him holding on to the top 5. I think you got to project him in there in case he does run off with the race early in the event. So how many guys we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We've got a player pool about 20 guys in a 38-car race. I think that's about where we should be. If you want to argue Ankrum and all these guys, we can talk about that as we get through here. Oh, happy late birthday to you, Dave. Mine is tomorrow, so I turn a great 23 years old. Oh, yeah, so Zach, answering your question, who do I like starting from the back? I like Dawson Cram. I think this team has really done well with no practice this year. They seem to be a team that, if you're familiar with Marcus Lemonis, just throwing money, at the problem of people not wanting to sponsor Truck Series teams. Them and Timmy Hill are like the only teams that actually try and do something when they're sponsored. At Darlington, he finished 31st. I believe he got in the wall there. I think he got a mechanical issue or something at Kansas. Don't remember. He finished 31st, 25th at Richmond, 31st at Atlanta, Las Vegas 21st, and then Daytona Road Course 17th. That 21st Las Vegas race seems like how that race played out seems very similar to how this race plays out to me. That somebody like Dawson Cram gets inside the top 25, maybe finishes 22nd, maybe finishes 23rd. The only issue there is that he's 7,100. He's certainly not like a cash lock or anything like that. Just a guy that I certainly have in the player pool. The guys that I actually like who are cheap, who you can work in a lot of lineups, Spencer Boyd, Brett Holmes, that's probably where I would go. I think a lot of people are going to go to Tanner Gray for the place differential, thinking that he's going to finish possibly like 12th or something. I don't see it from Tanner Gray. We haven't seen that in a long time. If you look at how he's been finishing it, I mean, he's having issues, and he had issues in practice as well. I think it was more so a tire rub, but that David Gillan racing 18 or 15 cars just not there where it's at. That's why I'm hesitant to him and Purdy. Like Purdy also seems like a play. Like if I had to rank the lower price guys, Boyd, Holmes, and Purdy, I'd go Holmes. Where you at, Holmes? I'd go Holmes, Boyd, and Purdy. I got Purdy for 26 points. I'm giving him 5 more. I'm giving him a 20th place finish. I don't think Purdy does much after that, man. He always wrecks. That's not me being harsh on the guy. Like Purdy and where is he at? Hocevar. They always manage to find the wall, spin out, have an issue, and in a tight race like this, we already have to deal with that PJ1 Cup, or didn't have with the Xfinity cars because really nobody ran the outside line. Everybody was on the bottom, and then anytime you saw somebody get in the outside lane, they basically just let off so they wouldn't spin the car out. That's where I'm at here. Oh, Jeffrey, you deleted. I didn't see it. What's going on here? Yeah, too tempting to give it to Jay. That's funny. We're still talking about it. Gray ranking. Yeah. Yeah, that's 7,300 is hard though. I haven't seen Gray getting in any of my lineups. So what do I have? See what I got Gray for. I'm giving Gray a 19th finish. I don't think he gets it done. I don't see him hitting 5X. I don't see him getting over. Let's really bump this up here. Like at my max, I'd give Gray like 37 points. And that's 5X, but man, that's hard to come by. I think he hits more like a 4.2, 4.5, maybe 4.6 value. I'm not high on Gray at all. Yeah, I'm not high. His race rating is high. Like I know what you're looking at, his race rating, but Gray is a driver that I care about finishing positions way more than Gray. It was the same thing last year. Gray would start in the 20s. All he has to do is get up to like 15th and run well. And it was very rare that he did that. Earlier in the year, sure. But Las Vegas 2, he got it done. You know, what is that? Kentucky last year got in a wreck. Texas finished 10th. This is all last year's stuff. God, man, I do not trust Gray at all. I'm worried about Gray. Thoughts on Chandler Smith? I hate to say this. I know Christian Eckus and Chandler Smith are going to wreck. I just know it. I know I'm going to have a lot of them, a lot of ownership to them. Chandler Smith and Christian Eckus, I would argue put them in every single lineup, but they're most likely going to wreck. I'm playing 7 lineups tonight. I'll probably have both of them together, probably in 4, and the other 3 are going to have one or the other. Like I'm going to have ownership to these guys. I think you need ownership to these guys, unless I see one of them making the optimal lineup for sure. I think there's a good chance both of them make it just where their pricing is. where their place differential is, both these are top 10 cars. Like, let's make a real argument that both these cars can finish 12th, 10th, or 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, way up there. Like, if everything goes well, I think Eckus and Smiths are where you need to start off. Yeah, he's in decent equipment, but man, even last week, I know we can't use the Roval for a lot of data, but I do not like John Wood. Let me look. Let me see GMS, because I hate to say it, I didn't like how the truck looked last week. Sponsor wise, what is he in here? Where you at, John? Where's Wood at? I saw that wrong. Jack Wood. I don't know why I was calling him John. He's in the 24 car. 24. I haven't even shown a, I mean, that's why he didn't pop up on Twitter. I searched John Wood instead of Jack Wood. I haven't even seen the picture of the car. I haven't had interest in Jack Wood. I mean, mainly he's just an ARCA guy. You know, I don't see him getting a whole lot of stuff done here. Yeah, I mean, he's an unsponsored GMS truck. It has Chevy accessories on. That's unsponsored. But man, I mean, this is who was in here before? Was it Purdy? Who's the other guy who's usually in the 24 for GMS? He's like a spitting replacement for him. A spitting image of everybody who runs this car. We're like, yeah, this equipment's top 15 easily. Do I think Jack Wood gets up there? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, man. I mean, Gray. If I get beat by Gray, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, man. Like Gray should finish 15th. He should finish 14th. I don't think he does. Man, I just can't get myself to like Gray, and I know I should, but I just can't get it. Also, yeah, Lessard. That was the truck Lessard drove. That's who it was. I couldn't think about it. Go check out his new stuff at True DFS. Go support Pierce over there. Need to get yourself some good data. Go over there. Let's see. Who's the lowest guy at the bottom in terms of pricing or ownership? Because every time I think I can't get ownership down for the trucks, man. Because every time I think people are going to go to a certain guy, they don't. I can usually see it better. Man, let's see. Johnny Newsett, Creed, Boyd, Eckus, Holmes, Smith for cash. I think that's fine for cash, Darren. Yeah, if I was playing cash, I'd probably do that. Thank you for the happy birthday wish, Nick. Well, Lessard left because he didn't get sponsorship. He didn't bring sponsorship in. Doesn't like the argument. Who finishes better, Jack Wood or Brett Holmes, man? Why? So let's say Jack Wood finishes 18th, and let's say Brett Holmes finishes 20th. Give me Brett Holmes, man. I'm not having an issue. I mean, maybe if you're like on dire straits, and you know, installing microwave ovens, and you really need that extra $200 for that 5700. I could see going there. Right now, I don't see it wanting to go to John Wood. Who is it like in here? Now that I really cut this pool down. It's like in Spencer Boyd. It's probably the lowest I'm looking to go here. If Keith McGee was still in my player pool, it would probably want to go to him. If man, you got to sell me on Tanner Gray. There's been so many times I've played Tanner Gray, and it just doesn't work out. This seems like a place where Tanner Gray is not going to work. I don't see it, and that's probably where I'm just going to miss today. I'll just miss right off the bat with Tanner Gray. What is it? Bailey? No, hell no. At 9,400, that's crazy. That's not. I wanted to like Drew Dollar and Timmy Hill. I just don't have them projected to do well. This is and I think it's because I'm focusing so many lap led and fast lap points to like certain drivers. Like not even necessarily like right now in my projections, I'm giving everything John Nemechek, with some sprinkle spread out for Creed and Rhodes and Gill and guys like that. But even if I switch it up to where I give Creed a lot of the laps led, I still think it gets soaked up by so many guys. And so a lot of these people that we're seeing in the 7K range are scoring, around like 37 points, 35 points. I got a lot of guys in the 20s, like Timmy Hill. I got him for 25. I got Drew Dollar for 24. I got Bailey Curry for 32. I got Jack Wood for 23 points. I got Enfinger for 34. So that's kind of why I'm coming around to certain plays more than other guys. Stuart Friesen is barely hitting 5x value for me, but just because he's hitting 5x, he's higher than other guys in the 8K range. Like for example, I got Sauter for 37 points. I got Stuart Friesen for 45.5, and in this type of lineup construction, I think you need that extra price or those extra points that guys are giving you over other plays. Let's see, what else can we look at here? Let's kind of talk about chalk, or in a sense of who I think people are going to go with. So let's just assume John Hunter goes. I really do, and I'm gonna admit that I think Tanner Gray is owned quite a bit, and I'm not fading him based on the ownership. I don't see it happening. I would think Brett Holmes is gonna be highly owned. Like to me, I wouldn't even question Brett Holmes' play. He probably won't come in as high as I think he will. I think Majeski's gonna be owned. He's a good place differential play. He's good across the board. Probably Boyd if you're there. This is where I think the chalk is going to go. And so if you're looking at it here, maybe the play off of Gray is a direct pivot to Purdy. Maybe the play off of Gray or Purdy would be Danny Bone if you think he's going to work his way into the top, probably 23, 24 to really make something work there. So I kind of like Cram. I think that's kind of why I like Cram and maybe not Gray so much. And I mean Cram isn't even safe either, but maybe as a pivot play there, he's low. Yeah, I need to make sure I play at least one lineup with Dawson Cram. At least one lineup with Dawson Cram. I haven't made him yet. What do we got until lock? It should be around 2 hours. We're around there. Let's see. What is this? And the optimizer froze. Let's get that going again. Yeah. Oh, and Eckus and Smith. We'll put them capital letters, like they're like super chalk. But I think you got to eat the Eckus and Smith chalk, because if they don't get in wrecks, they're most likely going to score very well. They might be probably top 8 scoring. And same argument to be made earlier. I think if they don't wreck, if they don't wreck and run the way they should, I think both of them are optimal. I think the more likely situation is one of them is optimal. Yeah, I think that's how I would go about it. Let's see what this is wanting to do. Let's see where we can try and pivot in the say in the 10K range and the 9K range here. Let's see. I'm going to leave Hocevar in. See what it wants to do there. I'm going to leave Deegan and Self in there. I'll leave Drew Dollar in there. I'll leave Tanner Gray in there to see how much he pops up. Leave Purdy in there. Let's see. CJ, not going to do that. Ty Majeski's probably going to be owned. I'll leave Keith McGee in there. We'll see what he does. All right, we'll let that kind of roll there. Let's see, Austin Hill. He's certainly in play. He needs a lot of help though. And I've been on Austin Hill quite a bit this year, and mainly for situations to where, you know, the top two guys struggle. And so I think the way that Austin Hill works is Sheldon Creed struggles, John Nemechek struggles, and even somebody like Rhodes or Crafton struggles. We've seen Hill constantly be a top 5 driver this entire season here, but he just hasn't had that push to get him over the edge to beat Kyle Busch Motorsports, to beat the top GMS truck. So that's my only thing there. Boyd or Creed or Sauter and Ty. Let me answer that with projections. What are we looking at? Boyd and Creed. Boyd. I got them projected for 86.5. Sauter and Ty. We're trying to beat 86.5. 86.5. It would be the first one for me there. I would go Spencer Boyd and Sheldon Creed based on my projections there. Yeah, and it just... Looking through, yeah, it's just, I mean, everything I'm looking at is showing one dominator, and that's either Nemechek, Creed. I think I give it to Rhodes before I give it to Hill. You could put, we'll tie Hill and Rhodes for third, and then Gillan probably fifth for leading the whole race. I think it's John Nemechek. He has the fastest car. He's going to be there. I think it's him. And so if we're building, let's see, this update, let's see. Then we can really talk about who it's like in here. Let me take Creed out. Take all these guys out. Let's just see what happens if I lock in John Hunter Nemechek. It's like it's Stuart Friesen. I kind of figured that as well. So you can put... I think if you're going Nemechek, you need to focus on one of the 9K drivers. And so maybe Zane Smith does fall into that. So maybe it's John Nemechek, Stuart Friesen, John Nemechek, Matt Crafton, John Nemechek, Zane Smith. If you're looking to pay up there, which I don't think you necessarily have to do. But, you know, I don't think the John Nemechek Creed works together. Let's see. Yeah, let me see here. Here, let me put this on the screen. I'll throw a projected finishing on the screen for you guys, so you're not too bored there. So maybe that'll help answer some of the guys in the back that we see here. So kind of talk about Tanner Gray. Man, I'm either right or wrong here. I think Tanner Gray... I'm really debating on Tanner Gray. I've been debating about it before I got here. I've been debating about it while I'm here. God, dude, my gut leans to not play Gray. I just don't like it. I'm being very chalky this race too, because I plan on having a lot of Eckus, a lot of Smith, probably a lot of Holmes, a lot of Boyd. Man, dude, that Tanner Gray. And also because I put the projections or the finishing positions, you can kind of see why I'm giving an F to these guys. Although, you know, we can argue that Derek Kraus can have a better day than 16th. We can argue that, you know, Ryan Trix can do better than 19th. Drew Dollar can do better than 18th. I don't see much from that, man. Even Enfinger finishing 9th. You know, this isn't the ThorSport car. This is the Robar car, right? Yeah, Cody Robar. Man, it's rough. That is rough. Man, same thing with Zane Smith. Like, in my mind, Zane Smith pops as a guy who should run well here. But, man, I think Friesen runs better than him, or outscores him, DFS-wise. Matt Crafton outscores him DFS-wise. Speaking of scoring, I don't talk about prize picks a whole lot. I only play prize picks if I like the numbers and if I can get them up early enough. The one thing I didn't like about them was that they used to only put one of the NASCAR series up at a time. So, like, sometimes if it was Friday, you'd only have the Truck series, and then Saturday morning they'd post the Xfinity series. Well, now I think it's this week, last week, kind of the week before, they're finally posting all 3 series up at the same time. So, you know, kind of just like a betting line. You know, the earlier you are, you get a better, you get better odds or better base. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's called. I found a line that I liked this week. I got the over on Kyle Larson for 35.5. I don't know if these have changed since then. I did this about noon today or earlier today, or maybe a couple hours ago. I don't remember. So I did Kyle Larson 35.5. I did the over there. Allgaier 33.5. I did the over there. I did the over on Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes today. So Matt Crafton was at 32.5 and Rhodes was at 33.5 on Prize Picks. I really liked Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton today on Prize Picks. So if you want to do those two, go right ahead. But those would be the guys I'm going with. I thought I'd mention that because I don't normally talk about Prize Picks. I just liked those numbers for those guys. There, let's see. What does this want to do now? How's the contest looking? Truck Series contest should fill pretty soon. 1,300 short on the $3 right now. Yeah, I like these lineups. I like these lineups are about where I thought they would be. I'll probably end up playing my 2 highest projected lineups just because I thought that's where they would go. Stuart Friesen seems very similar to the Tanner Gray situation. And he'll either do extremely well or extremely horrible. There is no in between. Friesen will either finish 7th or he'll probably wreck. Gray will probably finish. He should finish 14th or he'll wreck. Kind of how I go there. Who else is this? It's like in Purdy. Gosh dang, man. It's like in Purdy and Holmes together if you want to play those 2 guys. So yeah, to answer your question earlier, for the lowest I'd go, it right now it's just Boyd and Holmes in that 5K range. I don't think it's even liking a Dawson Cram a whole lot either. Well, Dawson Cram is that highest lineup is 12 off. The highest Dawson Cram lineup I have is 12 points off my highest projected lineup. That's not horrible. I thought it'd be a lot more. Let's see. Let's see, what else do we got here? I can't think. I think it's just those guys. It's hard for me to see not using the player pool that has these guys in here. And now I guess let's really talk about the interest, I guess. Which you kind of already know, but I'll just, oops, there we go. Let's do H-Town for Guy Fieri. No, not. What does it want to do with Todd Gillan? That might be a good play there. Focus on Gillan. What does this one to do? Let's see. I got to put Gillan back in the player pool here. In case I lose these. Okay, I have those lineups there in case I just destroy everything. Let's lock Todd Gillan in here. Let's see what it does. If it wants to throw Nemechek together with Todd Gillan or not. Let's see here. Let's see. Because maybe I think if I'm going with a 2 dominator lineup, it might be Gillan. It might be Gillan. Let's try and think of ways that works and ways it doesn't. It's a very small amount of ways it does go that way. But I mean, I guess it's that outside lane. But then you got to worry about Austin Hill. So let's say the outside lane just gets killed on the initial start. So you got Creed, no. You got Nemechek, no. So Gillan, Austin Hill. Maybe you got to give it to Austin Hill. But then again, it's a one groove racetrack. If Gillan's smart, he'll just hold the bottom line. And then Austin Hill has to pass him on the outside. I'm not saying Austin Hill will instantly wreck when he gets to the outside lane, but he's certainly at a disadvantage. The outside lane has always been at a disadvantage here at Charlotte. And then you throw that PJ1 up there, it's even worse. Like, maybe Austin Hill just rides behind Todd Gillan the whole time. You know, that's a situation that very well might happen. Let's see what it's want to do with Gillan here. That's close, man. That is close. That is close. So this is wanting to go Chandler Smith, Gillan, John Hunter. And it's very similar to... It's very close to the projection of just going John Hunter. Because you're getting crucified at the bottom with these... With the 5 and 6K range, I almost don't want to go with it. Maybe do Brett Holmes, Spencer Boyd. What is that? Let's see, Boyd. Whoops. So what is that? We're at 11.3. God, dude, that's 32.9. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. Or I thought it would be. But I feel like that's chalky. Maybe I wish I knew what Gillan's ownership would be. Maybe that could convince me otherwise. How has he performed this year? At some real racetracks. Where are you at, Todd Gillan? Darlington 3rd. Oh yeah, he did run well at Darlington. I forgot about that. How'd you run at Dover? No, they didn't run Dover. Yeah, they didn't run Dover. Let's see. Darlington finished 15th. What happened to Gillan in that race? Oh, everybody wrecked. I forgot about that. I forgot everybody died and killed each other at Darlington. 6 at Kansas. 9th at Kansas. Top 10 times. Atlanta. What did he do at Atlanta? 17th. They've made a change. They've certainly rounded a corner since Las Vegas and Atlanta. How much is how many fast laps is he running here? That'd be interesting. That'll be an interesting look. So that was last year. What is Todd Gillan doing so far? Let's find Gillan. Let's make an argument for Gillan. 7 at Darlington. That is good to see. That's encouraging. Nothing else at any other track. But their most recent race, he did get 7. Man, I'm talking myself into Todd Gillan more and more. Really am. It's going to be a weird race. I already know it's going to be a weird race. Let's see. What's your take on Cram? Will he get a top? So I talked about this a bit earlier. I'm making myself play at least. Well, I will play one lineup with Cram. I'm only playing 7, mainly as a pivot, kind of off of Tanner Gray. If something happens to Gray, and then the 6K range, everybody's already playing Majeski, But it seems like lineups are going to want to go Majeski and Gray. So maybe I hope Gray has an issue, and then Dawson Cram kind of works his way into being the best scoring guy in the 7K range. That's where I would go. I have him projected for 23rd right now. He's going to need help. I think this truck is better than how it's been running, but that's kind of a place I'd pivot. He's a lot closer to an F than a C here. We'll put him as a D there, but that's kind of where we're at. What do we got here? Hour and 30 minutes left. Okay, tilt lock. I'll probably head off in about probably 10 minutes here. That's probably what we're thinking. Feel free to drop any last questions you got in there if you've kind of been messing around with lineups. We kind of talked about that. I'm kind of set in my ways of not being too high on Gray. I don't know why. Just not a lot of things pointing his way for me. Oh man, dude. He's starting 25th. And Gray's always excelled in places you can run the high line. That's normally how he makes passes. Gray almost never makes passes on the inside. He always makes passes on the outside. So it was like that Texas last year. Then he got wrecked. I think, was it Texas last year? I don't remember. Maybe I'm just talking gibberish, trying to convince myself that Gray is all right here. It's a new. Yeah, I heard that too. That it was it's a newer truck for Cram. That's what I heard as well. I already know that people are going to ask me about Dylan Bassett tomorrow, and that's an old RCR car, and I'm pretty sure he threw that lap down because he needs to qualify on the race. I don't think he's going to be a top 10 driver tomorrow. But yeah, I think Cram has a good day here. I really do. Really do. Top 8K pick. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let's take a gander at the 8K ranges here. So let's act like Eckus and Smith aren't in there, aren't in the 10K, because those would be the guys I would go to first and foremost in the 8K range. It'd probably be Smith, Eckus. I'm liking Todd Gillan more and more. I need to make a note as well. I gotta make at least one Gillan lineup. Because, man, I'm liking him more and more. In a sense of, I need to at least play him in a lineup. Everything will probably still be built around John Nemechek. It's like, okay, all right, we've made a change. It finally updated. So, the John Nemechek and Todd Gillan lineup is scoring one more point than a John Nemechek lineup by himself. That's pretty convincing, man. I like that. It's probably going to be duplicated. I don't know if I can get real different with that lineup. But right now, Todd Gillan and John Nemechek are in my highest scoring lineup. I don't know what else I can change on that lineup to really get different. But I like that lineup. I really do. Does anybody have ownership? Does anybody have ownership on Gillan on anything? I mean, that's what I'm really interested in. I'd love to see project ownership on Todd Gillan. That would be interesting. Yeah, again, I'm taking pictures of my lineups because I've been known to absolutely massacre projections, and I don't get back the lineups that I make earlier in the day. That's why sometimes I'll take a picture of the optimizer so I know what they have there. But yeah, thoughts on Johnny Sauter? All right, now got him for 10th place finish. I'm giving, well, Eagles, you got the projections, bud. You're in there. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by a cup practice here. But let's see. Johnny Sauter. I wanted to like him more and more, but I think you got to go out of your way for Johnny Sauter. If I had to choose between a GPP play, it might be Enfinger, Friesen, Sauter, and Drew Dollar. Maybe Jack Wood. Maybe that. I think those would be the main guys I'd look at to try and get different, but that's what I would do. So we don't like Creed and Nemechek together. Very good with Eckus and Chandler. Yeah, so like Eckus and Chandler Smith, like both these idiots have a very high chance of wrecking. We've seen them do very stupid stuff together. In a race, like Eckus and Smith, I imagine if they even touch that PJ1, they're wrecking. But both those guys are underpriced. Now, they're priced well to start, but now that it was not determined by qualifying time, it's determined by this based on the road course. It was Smith last week that got stuck in the sand trap, like it's a golf course. He got stuck in the sand on the last lap, went from like 8th to 23rd or whatever. Based on their place differential, those guys, I see them scoring very well. What's up, Michael? Man, Chandler. I know. I just said that, man. It's wild. Why the Todd love, Brandon? So it's the 8K range. It's what you can make with them. So like right now, I'm giving Todd a 4th place. I'm giving him 6, but I'm giving him some laps led and fast laps. I think in the predictions I sent out, I gave him 11 laps led and 8 fast laps. And that was wanting to get him into a lot of lineups. I'm kind of bumping that up just to see how much I can give him that keeps him in that. And then I'll probably take away all the laps led and fast laps and see what he does on just place differential. But right now I'm kind of liking Todd Gillan for a 2 dominator lineup to where I think Todd could possibly be a second dominator. Why is everyone on Majeski? Because he's a great play, great. So yet again, okay. So let's talk about this. Christian Eckus, what have we see him done before? He's done well, he's wrecked. Chandler Smith, he's done well, he's wrecked. Ty Majeski, he's done well or he's wrecked. And so the chalk play of Ty Majeski, he should easily score 42 points. I would give that to Ty Majeski. That's 5.3 value. He should hit value. Same thing with Eckus, same thing with Smith. It's just, do these guys actually make the race? And so I completely understand the chalk behind Ty Majeski because he's probably, outside of Brett Holmes and my love for Boyd and Holmes, Majeski's probably the best place differential play on the slate. So that's why he's chalky. Let's see. Hello, JB. Yeah. Check your... Oh, cool. Let me look at Gillan here. Oh yeah. See, man, I need Todd Gillan's ownership, man. That's about the only guy I'm curious about. But thank you for those. That helps me at least determine stuff. So let's see. Ty Majeski's pretty chalk. So if he's not on that, then I don't think Gillan's gonna be. Maybe he won't be owned as much as I think. Like in my mind, I think Todd Gillan should come in around 25, 26% ownership. If he's less than 20, I think I really need to make sure I got him. Maybe if he's with 25% of the field, I match the field there. For the off chance that Gillan does something. I think that's pretty. I think that's an interesting play there. I think I feel more confident with lineups that go John Nemechek and Todd Gillan than go John Nemechek and Sheldon Creed, just because the guys you're having to go to in the 6K range. But then again, I don't like the same guys that other people do. So maybe if you're high on Tanner Gray, you don't mind going Sheldon Creed and John Nemechek. I think it's a very interesting dilemma there. Best play for cash, 6,900 and under. Let's go ahead and take a gander at the 6,900 guys. 69, nice. I like Brett Holmes. So Chase Purdy. God, man, Chase Purdy and Gray are going to piss me off all night. Like, if you look at how Gray has finished in these, or if you look at how Purdy's finished this year and how many points he ends up getting, just the last, and I hate looking through the DK log, but this is the easiest thing to put my point across. 19 points, -7, 15, 2, 30, 21, 17, 27. Purdy hasn't shown anything that he's going to get there, but he could. But yeah, to answer your question, it's probably Brett Holmes and Spencer Boyd. What is Gray scored on DFS this year? That'll be interesting. So last week had a mechanical failure, finished with 15. -13 points, 27 points, 5 points, 35 points on dirt, 19 points, 41 points, 36, -7. I'm like, God, dude. I would be really worried, man. I'm really nervous about Tanner Gray. That's kind of where we're at there. Gillan probably going to get passed by Creed in the first lap. If I was Todd Gillan, I would run Creed up into that PJ1. I would run at the very top of that seam on the bottom and hold him off, man. Because if Creed can get by Gillan, and John Nemechek can get by Sheldon Creed pretty easily. That's my only thing there. I'll probably have, let's see, if I'm playing 7 lineups, I'll probably do 2 Todd Gillan, John Nemechek, 1 Sheldon Creed, 1 John Hunter, and then probably the rest, or maybe 2 John Nemecheks by himself, and then I'll probably goof around with some other combinations there for my last ones. But I think that's how I would go. Sorry. No, you're good, Barry. Thank you for tuning in, even if it's a bit late. Hocevar is so scary. I started the video with Hocevar will either win somebody a shitload of money or he'll just kill a lineup. That's how it is. I only got 2 Slayer shirts. I can't be wearing them out. I can't be wearing them out so much, man. Those are old shirts too. One is from 2013 and the other one's from 2015, I think, or 2014. I've seen Slayer 4 times, and I'm not even that big of a Slayer fan, really. Like, I like Slayer, fucking Slayer, let's go. By far not my favorite band at all. I just happen to have 2 friends who are huge Slayer fans, and anytime Slayer was at a concert, I'd go with them. So I've seen Slayer 4 times live, and I bought shirts 2 times I've seen them. But I saw them. They saw them 5 times, man. They went almost every year to see a Slayer concert, and they went Slayers last year, and I was like, man, I've already seen them. I don't need to see it on their final tour. I've already seen enough Slayer. Let's see. I don't think Gillan has the car to stay up there with. Yeah, what you just said about Majeski, that dude always wrecks. Same thing can be said with these other 8K guys there. The only thing, and I mean, you're kind of coming in late because I've kind of gone back and forth on Gillan. The only thing that helps us kind of look at Gillan is how he ran at Darlington. So the last real race, we've kind of seen him turn a corner. I don't have much faith in Gillan. Do not think I'm saying play a ton of Gillan. I'm just saying I'm going to have one lineup with Todd Gillan and John Hunter in it. I think that's perfectly fine. But yeah, so that's probably my situation there. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've done pretty well with that Slayer shirt. Maybe I need to order some more so I don't wear them out. One of them's too small for me. It's a large, but it's a really small large. I feel like it's like a women's medium or something, man. It's weird. Yeah, I'm gonna be going live tomorrow and on Sunday. It's just easier this week making videos that would only have a lifespan for like 6 hours. I don't really like doing that. Let's see, we got an hour and 17 left. I'll probably hop off here in probably about 5 minutes. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. If qualifying happens, it'll probably be towards the end of qualifying. Or probably maybe it's either going to be right at the end of qualifying, of TV qualifying, or like 30 minutes after, just so I can get my projections in and everything. I'll go live there. And then Sunday, we're looking at 4 Eastern. Jordan and I are going to be live talking about the Coca-Cola 600 because I want to watch the Indy 500. I did not want to go live early in the day because I gotta check out who dies in the Indy 500. Hopefully somebody hits the pylon this year. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Me and my friends have been saying that for years. Like, dude, somebody's going to hit that pylon. It's going to knock the scoring pylon over into the grandstands. You know, Indianapolis is a crazy, dangerous track. You know, I'm surprised nobody's died there recently. I say that, but watch, man, watch. I keep calling so much shit this year, man. I just killed somebody empty on Sunday. Let's see, any last questions here? You never saw Slayer live, Mike? What are you doing, man? So I've seen, and this is no exaggeration, I've probably seen 400 bands live. I used to go to so many concerts, obviously before COVID, but from probably when I was 11 to last year, I would probably go to like 3 concerts a month, you know, and that's not including the festivals like Mayhem Fest. I used to go to Rockstar Energy Uproar. So I sometimes I went to bigger festivals, but you know, if you're seeing, you know, 3 concerts, you know, a month, and then each concert has 3 to 4 bands, it's pretty easy to get to like 300, 400 bands. I got all the shirts I wear. All the rock shirts I wear are all concert bought shirts. I mean, I love metal and heavy metal and classic rock and things of that nature. So I've seen a lot of bands. Yeah, Slayer. I mean, Slayer was really cool to see. It was a really good one. Deegan top 12. I do not see that. Yeah, best of luck, David. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll probably head it off there, and yeah, these about 20 guys I have here would probably be the guys I go in my player pool, and these are going to be the very chalky plays in the back, which I think you got to eat some of this chalk. That's just how it's going to be. I think it's a 1 dom in this race. That's kind of where I'm at. I'll probably build 2 dominator lineups, but where I'm at, I think it's a 1 dominator lineup in this race. Thank you guys for watching. And I'm going to go ahead and head off, and we will do it again tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. So we'll see.